Hey guys, it's Eva, and in April, I read a ton of books. This is part of them, and I read quite a bit more. I read a whole entire series of books, highly addicted, took over like 7 days of my life, but I'll get to those ones. And yeah, I read a ton of books in April because of the quarantine, and it was wonderful and happiness and just great. I did a lot of other projects, but I also read 4 or 5 middle grade books, but that is going to be in my middle grade review. It's going to be a separate video, which I will link up above, which no, I don't think it will be linked because it'll come out after this. So subscribe down below and you can check it out. And I loved all the middle grade books I read. And yeah, let's get started. With the first book I read in April was Not the Girl You Marry by Andie J. Christopher, and it came out November 12th, 2019. So this book definitely reminded me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and also Lauren Lane's After the Kiss, which is a book. So it reminded me of the movie and the book, which were both probably played off that same thing. And it starts out with 2 people lying to each other, which I've kind of read a lot of romantic setups like that. And so this one reverse flipped it. So it was the guy trying to lose the girl because he was an article writer. He wanted to be taken serious. He wanted to write politics. And then the girl was lying to him because she was a planner and she wanted to she wanted to plan a wedding. So she wanted to show her boss she could be in a steady relationship. She isn't a romantic type of person. So she wanted to plan a wedding, but in order to do that, she had to show her boss she could have a steady relationship. So yeah, she dates this guy to try and make him fall in love with her, like in a very short amount of time, like 10 days. And he's trying to make her, like, get rid of her in 10 days. And so he's not acting like himself. She's not acting like herself, of course. As far as everything goes, I didn't love the role reversal. I think the reason you like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days because it's the girl trying to get rid of the guy. But this one is not. It's a normal, like, guy isn't interested in dating a girl. So it was kind of, it kind of hit the middle road. It was definitely a solid read. The other part in the read that I thought was different and gave uniqueness to the story was the girl is biracial. So that's like a huge or bigger part of the book than I thought it would be maybe. And it was an interesting take to see like where she had faced discrimination because she was biracial on both sides of the aisle. So I liked that part of the book, but everything else is just kind of middle road. It was a solid read. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was just, I liked it. It's in the middle. The next ones I'm gonna have to read to you because it's a series, and I read the Winston Brothers series by Reid, and I'm gonna have to read you all the titles because there's a lot. There was 7 books in total for this series, and I read all 7 in April. So the first book was Truth or Beard. The second one was Grin and Barrett. The third one was Beard Science. The fourth one was Beard in Mind. The 5th one was Doctor Strange Beard. The 6th one was Beard with Me, and the 7th was Beard Necessities. Now, the last 2, Beard with Me and Beard Necessities, were a companion novels, so they were about the same brother. So there is a story. So there's a story about these 6 Winston brothers, and they have one sister in the storyline, but she doesn't get her own book. I was thinking that one, the 6th one was going to be hers because it has a girl on the cover, but it's not hers. The 6th brother just gets 2 stories. So I know there's a spin-off series, so I'm hoping in the spin-off series you get to hear about the sister. But the Winston brothers are this wide range of personalities and talent. And if there's not one you like, you're going to find another one you do like, kind of thing. They're wide range of what they can do. There's a lot going on in this small town. There's gangs, and there's so much drama, and there's southernness and pies and auto shops, and so there's a lot going on. I'm not going to go into detail on all the books and what I thought of every single one. I'm going to do a separate review because that would just take forever in my book wrap up. So yeah, subscribe below to look out for that review because I'm definitely going to be doing it soon while they're fresh in my mind. But yeah, I loved them. I saw these books coming out because 2 of them came out last year. And so I kept seeing them pop up on different things, but they are free to read, I think, on Kindle if you are in the Kindle program. And I read them free through my library. So I absolutely loved them. I had so much fun with them. They were unexpected. I didn't think I was going to love them, but I did. I think the second one, Grin and Barrett, was my favorite. But yeah, they're all these brothers, and on all the covers you've seen, they have beards. All the brothers have beards, but there's a brother who likes knitting, which is different. There's a really smart one. There's one into politics. There's two into auto shop. There's twins who are redheads. So yeah, there's a lot of drama. There's one that was into gangs. There's so much going on in these books, but I absolutely loved them, and I can't recommend them enough. They're definitely romances. That's the main play in every single book, is a romance and who they meet or who they've met. And the girls are wide variety. Like, one of them is a mechanic, and one's a mechanic and an artist, and one works in town at a pie shop, and one is a celebrity, like, actress, I believe. And then just, they're all over the place. Some of them they knew growing up, these girls, so they've known them their whole lives, and they're in love with them. But yeah, I really had fun with them. I was surprised by them. I'm definitely gonna go on to the spin-off series, and I suggest you check them out. If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, I did a whole entire review on this one, so I'm not going to stay on this one very long either, and I'll link the review up below because it's already out, because the book came out on April 21st, so that's when I put out the review. This is a very complicated mix of stories. It is telling to what is going on in Seoul, Korea today. It is about how women are not getting married there, they're not having babies there, they're obsessed with cosmetology. Like 1 in 3 women, it says there, I think, have some kind of cosmetic surgery or have gone under the knife in their 20s on their face. They think it's something you attain and work hard for. It's not something that you just say, oh, you were born with a beautiful face. That's not how they look at it. They see it differently. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are brought up in this book. It is not like a full-length novel. They aren't all tied together. These girls just live in the same apartment building, really. It is a slice of life piece. I think that's what I came up with, because that's exactly what it is. You're just getting little increments of their life. But it's nothing I've ever read before, so I really enjoyed it. I am definitely going to hand this book off to somebody who wants to read it. And I love the cover. I don't know. There's something about that cover. Absolutely love. Okay. So the next one is Would You Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. And this one came out in December of 2019. So it's a pretty recent new book, if you'd like to check it out. To me, the book gives me like vibes a bit of The Flat Share, if you like The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary last year, or it also gave me kind of vibes of, and it also kind of gave me vibes of We Met in December, which launched like I think the year before, or earlier last year. So I was kind of looking into it, and that's kind of what captured me, and it definitely does give off those vibes. So it's a story about a girl who it's a story about a girl who's been an assistant her whole entire career, and has never moved up to be an agent. She's like pushed down by her boss, basically, and like ever people are making all these connections, and she likes where she works, so she doesn't want to move it. And she has this one client that is super hard. She calls him Knob through a lot of the book, which that's one of the better, funnier parts. A lot of the book is not based on the romance. It's about like this girl that is like trying to go out and like find meet cute situations, and she's giving it over so this guy can have inspiration to write a script, and that's Knob. And Knob is like this famous script writer in the movie. So it was kind of cool to see behind the movies in theaters. And it's distant, like The Flat Share or We Met in December, where a lot of it's their own personal stuff. So a lot of it's her personal stuff, not really heavily in the romance section. But for me, this one kind of flatlined, where I really liked We Met in December, and I absolutely loved The Flat Share. Like, they really jumped off the page, and there was something about the romance and the story that I loved. This one just didn't jump off the page to me. There's all these different guys she does meet in these big cute, so there's all these different interesting scenes, but you kind of see a lot of it coming. You see a lot, I mean, she calls him Knob, you see him coming, being kind of a bad guy, and just, for me, it was okay. It was a 3-star, a lower 3-star. There's some 3 stars that I really like that are kind of 4-star, and then there's like the lower 3 stars where the book's not bad written, but it's meh. Now, the next one I read was Rachel Gibson. I think there was only one in this particular writer series I had never read, and it was the first book in the series. So I had this sitting on my shelves, and as you know, last year I read 1001 Rachel Gibsons. So yeah, I wanted to finish out that series she had written about writers, and this one is called Sex, Lies, and Online Dating, which I hated the name of it, because in the beginning it's like, so not the story I thought it was going to be. It's all about this guy who is an undercover cop and this girl who writes thrillers. So she's a mystery writer and a thriller writer, and they get stumbled into an actual mystery thriller that's playing them out. So for me, I didn't love it of hers, because I really liked the storyline. It was completely different, but it didn't pull me into an actual mystery thriller, which I thought it would be, where some authors jump ship from romance and they do like a romance and mystery thriller and they really pull it off. This one is heavily just romance still. Like I wasn't buying the mystery thriller, so that's where it kind of flatlined. I absolutely love Rachel Gibson as a writer though. I've read so many books I love, and so many of them, like this one, I just like, and I'm glad I read it as part of like the overall series. This book I read was Romeo and Juliet and Vampires. And this is not a spin-off. I love spin-offs, so I read them all the time, but for me this is like an exact replica of the original play set as vampires. So she is a vampire, Juliet. She's going to become one on her 16th birthday. She doesn't want to become a vampire. It's got a bit of a twist ending. That's the only leap off, but everything else is scene by scene Romeo and Juliet. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you would enjoy it. But for me, I'm not going to keep it around because I really enjoy spin-offs that like give something new to the story. This one, if you're into vampires, I guess maybe you'd like it. I love Romeo and Juliet's story though, so I loved reading this still. But for me, it's just kind of middle of the road as far as the spin-off goes. I think I gave it like a lower 3 stars once again. But yeah, it's a play-by-play, the original story, but set with vampires. And then obviously his family is the vampire hunters. So, you know, 2 households that hate each other. The vampires and the vampire hunters. This one I read, I also reviewed, and this came out earlier in the month. It was April 7th, and I absolutely loved this book. Absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna link it up below. I'm not gonna stay here too long, but it's 3 Hours in Paris by Cara Black. It's about a girl who goes to Paris and she's gonna kill the Fuhrer because Hitler is there for 3 hours, as we know in history. And it's this like epic adventure through Paris of like right off the beginning, the shot happens, and then it's like this chase, and these like commandants like chasing her through Paris, and it's really exciting. You don't know why she's sent there. You know, like in the end, like something like even says on the back that like she's maybe been set up. So you kind of know maybe she's been set up this whole time to get killed. So it's really, really exciting and fun. And the girl's from Oregon, so that's also a bit of a mystery playing through the whole story. Why this girl from Oregon is in the war before the US is in the war trying to kill the Fuhrer. A lot going on, but look at the review. I loved it. I can't recommend it enough. The last book I read in March. So I read, how many books did I read in April? I probably read 18 books in April, which is insane. But the last one I read was Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren. Some of her books I really loved. Some of them I did not like at all, but I like their writing. And the first book is the one I didn't like at all, but it was their first novel. It's a debut novel. It's hard. Yeah. And I think their writing has just come so long. So this is the most recent one they've put out, besides recently they put out The Honey Don't List, which I'm listening to right now in audiobook. But Twice in the Blue Moon they put out in October, and it took me forever and ever to get a hold of the library copy, and I finally got it. So I listened to it from my library. And it was Twice in Blue Moon, so it's a romance that happens twice in a life. And the beginning, it's so like epic and sweeping. It's about this young couple who meet in London, and it's just like the instant first love kind of thing. And it happens in a very short period of time, in a matter of like weeks or days, I believe, that they fall in love. And then he sells her out because her family is from celebrities. Her dad's one of the most famous actors in the world. So he sells her out. She doesn't know why. She just knows that she was in love with him and upset with him. So then like 14 years go by where she goes through periods of absolutely hating the man because he made her like shot into the spotlight. She ends up becoming a successful actress. They meet up again on a movie set. He was a writer. He has written the movie, and things play out. But I heard some bad reviews, some good reviews. Some people loved it, some people hate it. I'm one of the people that did love it in the end. I don't think the romance came back like a lot, but I was okay with it because you got so much of that first romance. I was okay with it. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, I want romance in their future, in their present life as well as in their past. But most of the romance is set in the past. There is a huge familiar relationship, which I also liked, with her father. That is a huge part of the story. I thought it was interesting and gave the story something extra. And then also there was relationships between friends. I thought there was a wide variety of relationships. I thought there were like unhealthy relationships and healthy relationships. And I just kind of liked the unique perspective of them kind of bouncing back and forth between like just like a normal relationship, a really healthy one, you know, family, familiar, friends. It like bounced between all of those, but it didn't, it still at its heart was the romance. So I like that it kept that theme going. I enjoyed the book. I liked it by Christina and Lauren, and I'm excited because I'm reading the one right now again. And I fly through their books, so it'll be days here in April before I finish that. But those are all the books I read in April. Don't forget to check out, please subscribe below for my middle grade March. It'll be coming out. And also about the Winston Brothers, I will be doing a full review on the Winston Brothers. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. See you guys next time. Bye.